So we'll get this sample from your right hand because all the other samples from your exercise will be in your left hand. So you'll have the machine on the side and Jordan will take the samples from this side.
You look scared.
Look like he's about to like.
You're going to get injection at school.
Am I so scared? I actually was a bit nervous at this point.
Did you pretend that first finger prick didn't hurt?
Mm-hmm.
I tried to pretend because you yeah.
A little bit after a while, yeah.
I think the anticipation was worse, but you played it off like it didn't hurt, so I expected not to hurt, but it did hurt.
Yeah. Definitely did a little bit. And then we got the mask on here, which was really uncomfortable at the start, but kind of got more comfortable as he went on. I felt he concentrate a little bit.
Yeah, and then the worst bit is when they put the hand over, and you can't breathe, and you're like.
So then for this first test was the lactic threshold.
Yeah.
So we ran for 3 minutes at a pace, and then
we picked the pace, didn't we?
Yeah,
so
that
was
went,
when we picked the pace.
It was like an easy Sunday morning run pace.
Yeah. So they asked what we'd run at, like on average.
Yeah, like an easy one.
Yeah.
And then every 3 minutes we got a rest, got your finger pricked, and then back on at a quicker speed.
Mm-hmm. And then when you got hooked up to these wires, that was quite hard, wasn't it? So you couldn't look down really.
No.
You had to keep looking up. Yeah, I was looking. There was like a pencil line on the wall. I just kept looking at that.
Yeah, I forgot my headphones as well.
Yeah.
40 minutes down at that TV. I think going every 3 minutes, you kind of like psychologically you can count yourself down every 3 minutes, and like the first 30 seconds getting back on were tough, then you kind of start letting you rhythm a bit more from there.
And I think because you get off, when you get back on, I don't know about you, but I didn't notice that much of a difference in how much faster it was going. Do you know what I mean? It was like quite a smooth transition. It wasn't like you were going from like a steady pace to a like absolute sprint pace. That was hard to beneath that. I was like,
yeah, definitely. So as part of the 3 minutes, we had to basically show on a chart how hard we thought we were working. And it's really hard to judge at the time because you could probably put it was relatively hard, but then you were going fast and it wasn't really getting too much worse.
And then you're like second guessing yourself, like you're saying like hard, like but could you
keep going?
Yeah, and then I think psychologically the fact that if you know you say you're okay, you've got another 3 minutes.
Aye.
So you could have tapped out.
You could tap out at any point.
Could have just said it was harder.
But then you're like, nah. I know I've got another 3 minutes in me.
And you know it's only going up.
Come on, Ben, keep it going.
Like half a kilometre an hour, so you're like, it's not going up from like say 10 kilometres an hour. 15 in one jump, little jump. Definitely help.
And this is sub-maximum test.
Yeah, this is the lactic threshold one.
It's getting hard
there. Recovery point, like hands on the side.
And then you stop caring about the finger prick at this point. You just like gasping for air.
Ready, Ben? Come on.
Well, I feel like it was the same finger for a lot, and I woke up the next day and had mass bruising in my finger.
I had little, you could see the little balls where it wasn't mine. I had them on these two. I ran out of fingertip. Like when it was getting faster, like you just felt like you were getting further and further back, didn't you?
Mm-hmm. That was it, yeah. You felt yourself moving away from the handles.
Yeah, and then you were covered in blood.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. T-shirt got lost that day. It's the fallen T-shirt.
So your heart rate was like, is this where it was 197?
So it wouldn't have been...
Not there.
So for the lactate one, it got up to 180 something. It wasn't in the 190s for this first bit.
Heart rate.
Yeah, so for the VO2 max it got 197.
God.
For this bit it went to, so the lactic turn point was 187.
And what does that mean?
So that was the point where the intensity at which the lactate rapidly accumulates in the blood.
So we're passing over to an anaerobic.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit dishevelled there.
Covered in blood.
Covered in blood.
was a
I
10
was
minute.
athlete tested.
It was a
I
10-minute
know.
rest and then straight into like an all-out sprint for 10 minutes.
So in this bit, when you were resting, so they didn't give us a set amount of rest. It was just
No.
like when you feel like you're ready to go. So this is when they were getting me ready, really, weren't they? Because that next bit didn't take as
No.
long. And as well, like when they said it, we were like, oh, how long do you think we'll be on? We thought it was going to be like 15,
Yeah.
20 minutes. Then they were like, oh, people usually go on for about 30 minutes. We were
Yeah.
like, oh,
They said like 40.
40.
Yeah.
But this bit was interesting because it was like, got your headphones there ready.
Yeah, I got headphones
Learn the
on for the
hard way.
second part.
You kind of know what to expect, so it's like a little bit daunting, but you know that it's not going to be as long. That's what I was thinking. Like,
Yeah.
oh, it'll be fine. It won't be as long. What did your legs feel like when you started running again?
I don't think my legs were too bad. It was just knowing what was coming.
Yeah.
Like knowing we were going back
Yeah.
up to like a tough pace.
Mhm.
So then this one was the VO2 max.
Mhm.
So we were told it was going to be anywhere from like 10 to 15 minutes, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Then this one was every minute you got
Either way.
faster
Yeah.
or more incline, yeah. I don't know about you, I definitely thought the
Lean back at
incline
it.
made it harder.
Yeah.
Speed was fine, but you felt the incline way more. Even though it was only, was it like half a gradient each time?
Yeah.
So it wasn't a massive amount.
Yeah. That sometimes I think that made it worse because then I was like, just whack it up and let me
Yeah.
get there quicker.
Yeah.
Made like stringing it out. But I think the pace that we started at, so we pretty much started at the pace. We could pick the pace, couldn't we? And that was quite nice because that let your legs move again.
Yeah.
But I think both of us from that first test recovered pretty quickly. Like it wasn't like it felt. Bless me. Like it felt minging to go straight back in.
I think that's definitely due to the training that we're predominantly doing here. It's
Like in
worse
front.
rest,
Yeah,
lots
definitely.
of them. Then he was saying on this part as well as the speed, he was watching out for technique in if that
Oh,
starts
yeah.
to go.
Yeah.
And I remember Jamie was saying like trying to keep your hips up, which is something you don't ever think
Yeah.
about, and then when someone says it, you do think you're like, oh my god, I'm running and my
Yeah.
chest's facing the floor.
Yeah. Well, it looked like as the treadmill was getting quicker, your head and your body was
You're like
staying
forward.
forward and your hips were going forward.
Yeah.
Because you're so conscious of the mask
Yeah,
as
is
well.
that
Yeah.
what it was?
Yeah.
Like there, you can see
Yeah.
him kind of leaning a bit forward.
Shoulder barging.
Yeah. And then once the guy started saying we couldn't come
Come on, mate, let's
behind
get
the
to that next
handles,
one.
and he
Yeah.
said try and move forward to the screen.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm in my last
Yeah.
stretch here. Like, yeah. I
Come on,
think
bud.
it was final about minute 7. And I
Yeah.
would say from minute 7,
Come on.
I think I was doing 12. I didn't say on here the time, but I think it was about 12 minutes.
Come on, keep pushing into this one, Ben. Keep those hips forward. Come on.
And this is at the point where it was sitting
Holly.
at 197 beats a minute, which is exactly maximum. So even now, I don't think technique looks too bad, but you can see I'm working.
You're like, I think
Yeah.
you look like you're falling into it a bit more, but I mean,
Come on,
So
Ben.
you
We'll
let's
get to the
go.
end of this one.
Yeah.
Come on. Hips forward. Come
And
on.
then she's there, like ready to catch me just in case. But in the moment, I didn't feel like I was gonna
yeah,
stack it,
Smashing it
but
here,
I didn't
Ben.
realise his arms were behind as well.
they're like we're worried about him.
So do you think that test did give you maximum focus?
Yeah.
You couldn't have given that.
I think like maybe could have went another minute, but
Yeah.
risked falling off.
Yeah.
Or
Your legs just like get so heavy as well, don't
Yeah.
they?
That's maybe where we get like the consequence of reaching it.
Done, Benny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not a factor.
Mm.
What were you listening to?
I can't remember. Actually, can't remember a song that was on. You know, when you're like working that hard, that it could be anything. It could have just been.
I mean, you
White
carry an
noise.
extra weight of the tissues as well. You
I
just
know.
can't put them in your
I know, I was
pocket.
very polite according to the two
She was
people,
like,
not
just throw them on the
tidying
floor. You were like,
Instead, I wiped them all off my t-shirt.
tissue t-shirt. And I mean, to be honest, he was like talking about stuff with me, and I was like,
Yeah.
strong numbers. That I didn't really.
I think for the report we got back, getting the information of what each thing exactly means.
Mhm.
But you kind of speak out, so like you said, like it's relative.
And this guy as well, he is more he's used to more running runners, isn't he? Like testing on runners rather than CrossFit people. So he was saying that was like a little bit different for him.
Because they mentioned something in the lactate.
There is blood in there.
These 2 dots were meant to have went up and then dropped, but they were saying because of the training that we do, we kind of go up and then back down and then up and then back down due to the interval side of training.
Yeah, so he was saying for us that usually there'll be a point where your aerobic system will kind of jump to go up with demand. But he was saying our anaerobic system jumped up and then it dropped and then our aerobic system took over, which he said was like interesting. He said he didn't really see that much. I should. Oh, I'm just thinking about my running style actually. I don't really want my heels up that high.
No.
Was that something they talked about?
No.
No, as in like the effect of running efficiency?
Yeah, it's definitely in here, and they've talked about that. That was going to be one of the factors that they would stop the second test if your efficiency had completely gone.
Oh my god, I didn't realise that was my last one. I don't even look like I'm working that hard.
Right, you finished at 1.7.
I know. 172 was my max heart rate.
That might be the end of your threshold. This might be.
Yes, that would have been your lactic threshold.
Yeah. But even so, like on that chart, it's like at 1.7, like about 1.72. I'm still, like I say, I look like I could have given a bit more.
So what was the difference in your heart rate between lactate and VO2? So the lactate one's there, the second period. So 165.
165.
And then on the 172.
On the second one, yeah, it was 172.
So there is, both got a 5. Oh, sorry, your difference is 72 and mine's 5. No, sorry, mine's 10. So not that far apart really in terms of the heart rate.
So here,
harder,
I knew what incline you'd got to. And I was just like, right, I've just got to get at least the same.
Come on, Donna.
I knew, not at all. I knew the speed wouldn't be the same, but I was like, don't stop. Don't stop before that. And then when I got that, I was like, right, I'll probably do. I was trying to tell them I had about 30 seconds left. And they were like, what's she saying? And I was like, or maybe it was like 30 seconds, I think. Because I could see the time.
Come on, you stick with it.
Definitely look like I'm working harder there. Same, like I feel like I'm falling into that a little bit more.
Definitely like use your arms a bit more than what I think I do.
Yeah. It's so hard to gauge though, like how much you've like actually got left. Like I don't feel at this, like at the point I was like on the brink of like death. But like I say, it's hard to gauge how much more you've actually got.
Does that look fairly maximal?
Getting there now, like arms have dropped a bit lower, haven't they?
Sprints in.
Come on, Donna, come on. You've got this.
And I was like, this doesn't feel nice.
Nah.
I'm not doing that. I don't like using my hamstrings. It's like short little shuffle.
And it's different to in the training that we're used to, maybe like the last minute or two of a workout might be like that kind of feeling, whereas here was like 5-6 minutes of
doing the same
death.
thing as well. That's obviously hard. I'm always like, once a movement changes, I'm like, all right, it's fine, it's better. Who knows? See, I mean, I'm like out of breath, but like.
You both got off and looked okay afterwards.
Yeah.
VO2, we got that was another prick on my finger at the very end.
Yeah.
And then that was used to work out the VO2 max. What was yours?
50.8. I think the lower the better, isn't it?
52.3.
Is it not lower the better?
I don't think so.
Is it higher?
Get that one in there.
There you go. So overall rating of athlete testing?
really
yeah,
good.
mint. Yeah,
Like,
totally rated.
Useful, yeah, especially when you get it in like the form of a report like that. You've got loads of different like training zones to use, and gives you a bit of a guide as to where you should be at with those as well. It was really interesting to see how far you could actually push in like a set test to try and go as far as you can.
Would you consider doing it on the bike, or do you think the treadmill is the best one?
For me personally, running definitely.
Yeah, I'd say.
And he did say if somebody's more conditioned on the bike, they would do it on the bike. We'd put them on the bike, but if somebody's more conditioned for running, they'd be better on the runner, because that's a better way to test what their actual ability is based on what they've tested before. If you put somebody who doesn't really bike, which I don't really, on a bike,
You said, like,
it's
your
not going
legs
to be a
would
true
go up
reflection.
before
Yeah.
Your heart and lungs would give up.
Before you can actually get to the point or the numbers that they need for this.
Yeah. All good?
What does your age say, Ben? What does it say? Yeah.
24.
Oh, 24 or 37. I think that probably makes a difference.
What does the VO2 max say?